This right here is a game changer. So as you can see, as of now, the building itself isn't very well lit up, and we can fix this by using something as I call Okay, so if you watch this video until the end, you should be able to create good looking night renders even if you're a total beginner. I will start this video with the default Enscape settings because I assume that's what most of you are starting from. First things we always want to change from the default Enscape settings is to change the perspective to 2 points perspective. This is because we don't want to make the render distorted at the sides. We will also tone down the field of view at 65% because it's more realistic and it fits perfectly with the boundaries that we want from this scene. If you want to learn more on rendering composition and why exactly I made these choices, feel free to check out my composition video, which should pop up in the top right corner of this video. The first step into achieving the night render look is to change the time of day. To do this, you can hold the shift in your keyboard and hold the right mouse button while you move your mouse horizontally. You can follow and check what time of day you're setting on the bottom right corner of your Enscape tab. In this case, I will leave it at 11 PM, but the difference won't be too big as long as you set it at nighttime. If you plan on using an HDRI, this method won't work. Instead, you will have to use a rotation slider in the visual settings. But for this video, I do not plan on using an HDRI since that is a little bit more advanced and I want to make this video more beginner friendly. Most of the renders at nighttime usually have some kind of light inside the buildings. So to do that, I will apply sphere lights in each interior room that has a window that we can see from this angle. To do this, we will go to the Enscape Objects tab, click the sphere option and put it in our first room. We will adjust the intensity and radius of it through the sliders, and we'll also apply a soft orange color to make the inside of the house warmer. We'll also copy the same light source in other rooms since we won't really need to change the parameters of the same light. Something that can help as well is to put a few light sources in the neighboring home, that way they have a cool effect on the scene and give context to the surroundings. The houses I have used are from the Enscape asset library, so I have to guess where I should put the light source. So now that we're done with the interior lights of the building, let's move on to the exterior lights. Even though it's a nighttime render, we still have to put appropriate lighting in order for the render to be easy to see for the viewers. So in this scene, we have a few light objects that we have to identify before we put light sources. We have 2 wall lights, a couple of garden lights, car lights, and the street light. So I think it's best to get started with the wall lights first. For the wall lights, I will put in spotlights and load an IES profile for them. So the first step to do this is to go to the Enscape Objects tab, after which you can see a few options of light sources. As we said, in this instance, we will choose the spotlight option. To help us place it, we will use a straight line as a guideline near our object, and then we can place it easily with 4 clicks. We will tweak the lighting intensity a little bit and we'll copy the lighting object since we will use the same intensity on all other light distribution as well. Alright, so now that we have placed our object, we're ready to upload an IES profile on top of it to change the way the light is distributed. If you want to get your own IES profiles, you can get plenty of them for free in the link in the description. Alright, so now moving on to the garden lights, we'll use another type of lighting distribution this time. We'll select the sphere light, we'll first click the Objects tab and choose the sphere option. And this time we won't need to use an assisting line since this light source doesn't have only one direction that it distributes lights to. We'll copy the same light source here as well, and now we will tweak the intensity of it. As you can see, the light doesn't show as lit up itself, so to fix that we will choose the white material with the eyedropper tool, and we will go to the Enscape material editor and we will change it to self-emissive. For the street light, we'll use the rectangular option, and this is just as easy as the other light sources to place. We can use a guideline for this one as well. After we've done that, make sure that we have gotten the right width and length so it suits the street light, and we just copy the same light source to the other street light as well. Also, one of the best tips to make your renders more realistic is to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel since that will push me to post even more videos that will be helpful for you. This right here is a game changer. So as you can see, as of now, the building itself isn't very well lit up, and we can fix this by using something as I call lighting cheating. We will add a rectangular light in the street, which will lit up the whole building for us, and we're going to choose it from the Enscape Objects tab. We'll place it the same way and direct it to our building, and we will adjust the size of it so it lights up the whole area. And this really shouldn't look fake or too harsh, it just should fit naturally onto the scene, just like how I'm trying to make it look like right here. I believe this is a great solution since with one easy trick we're able to make the render look much more better. Now for the final part, to put the cherry on top of the cake, we're going to take a look at the final visual settings where we will make a few adjustments. Let's get started in the main section of the visual settings. We will leave the outer exposure turned on, and I believe we can turn the exposure up to 65%. This will make the sky look weirder for now, but we will fix that later as well. We will also turn up the rendering quality up to ultra, and we'll move on to the image section. Here we will turn the shadows to -20%, and this will make the whole scene have less contrast, which is exactly what we need to an extent in nighttime renders. The saturation seems fine for now, but the color temperature could be a little colder. That will give the render a more bluish look, which makes it seem like it's reflecting the sky. As far as the effects go, these don't matter as much in this instance, and we'll only turn down the vignette all the way down to 0% and leave the rest of the setting just the way they are now. Okay, so let's move on to the atmosphere section. First thing we will do here is turn the night sky brightness down to 50%. This will make the whole sky darker and give it more of a nighttime look. The overall artificial lighting could be a little lower. I guess 90% works well. And then we just have to remember that during the time we tweak the visual settings for the final render, it is quite a bit of experimentation since there is not one preset of visual settings that can work for all renders. And I really try to preface this for every tutorial that I do just so you get the right idea of what we're going for in our rendering workflow. We will take off everything that has to do with clouds because the Enscape default sky looks very fake at night when we have clouds on, so we definitely don't want to see any of that. Now that we took off the clouds and tweaked the look of the sky, we definitely achieved a really good look that I like for this scene, and I will go ahead and create this render. Alright, thank you very much for watching this. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to check out my Patreon, and I will see you in the next one.